There we go. Okay. Well, let's get in. So, finally back to the Porphyrion today, which is awesome, if you ask me. Still not sure what's going on with the webcam as far as being inverted on video. I might be able to fix that, actually. Just whoop. There we go. Haha. All right. Back into it again when it comes to working on the Porphyrion. I'm excited. It's been a while. I've been putting it off because I've been intimidated. There's aspects of this build that have kind of somewhat scared me, I suppose, because now we have to get into the fine art of bending resin pieces into shape, which is something that terrifies me to my core, but that's okay. I'm not going to break them if I'm careful about it. Kind of, since you got the notification, Stolas, you thought I was on a cruise? That's not yet, Stolas. I've just been a lazy POS when it comes to actually getting working and streaming. I've actually not been lazy. Actually, I've been working really hard. My job has had my shifts completely around. It's giving echo feedback? Oh, scheisse. Let me check OBS here. I wonder why it's doing that. Let me just turn... Every time I get an update on OBS, it just drives me everything crazy. Is it still doing it? Yeah, still there? Well, shit. Okay. Let me do a hard reset here on my microphone. Okay. Let's also turn that down. Is that better? Is it still doing the echo thing? I don't know what's going on. OBS had another update. It seems like they've been pushing a new one out every week, which has been messing with every setting. I thought I fixed it, but if I didn't, just let me know. Also, by the way, thank you guys for stopping in, Stolas and Luna. It's so good to see you guys, honestly. It's been too long since I've streamed. I was hoping to do so again this weekend, but they've got me closing again, so my schedule's kind of all over the place. I'm not picking up anything on my end. Let me turn on audio monitoring. Hello. Huh. I'm not getting anything on my end. Weird. Yeah, if you guys still hear an echo, let me know. I'm not getting anything on my end, which is weird. I wonder if it's YouTube goofing up. Could be. Oh, I know what's causing it. Fucking... Okay, how about now? Is it better now? I forget that the webcam I have has an audio capture, which is probably part of the problem. I've muted the webcam, so hopefully that fixes it. Hopefully. I'm just gonna... Okay. Alright, let's see here. So, Luna, you started pinning your Ruinator? Awesome. The echoing is gone now. That's good. Okay. Yeah, that's probably what it was. It was probably the webcam picking up my audio. Who builds a webcam to capture audio? That's just weird. Anyway,
So you finally... so you finally started painting your Ruinator. That's awesome. You've only managed to put the missiles on the end of the tail and the Wardog head where the missiles go. That's awesome. Okay, that's cool. When you get pictures, let me know. I'm going to need to see them. Also, Stolas, it's my weekly reminder to let you know that Chaos sucks. Even though there's 2 people who are Chaos fans in the chat right now. I'm not salty about it. You are. Where do we want to look here? Pretty much got that torso done. Let's go ahead and finish up the legs today. I want to put that armor plating on. Oh, it's finally good to be back, though, let me tell you. I've been looking forward to this all week. Today, unfortunately, going to be a little bit of a smaller stream. I just got back from my lunch with my grandparents on my mom's side, and tonight... I'm having an incredibly late birthday dinner with the grandparents on my dad's side of the family. So, hopefully, I can actually get some solid work done today. I will say, I'm actually quite excited to get to working today, and hopefully everyone gets to stop by. You have it's a 3-headed mech from hell. That's awesome, Luna. That really is. Oh, you're at the vet stores? Well, I hope everything's going okay, bud. Routine checkup or something else entirely? Leg plating. Actually, since we have someone else here who is an Imperial Knights fan, or at least a Knights fan, I should say. I don't mean to besmirch your good name there, Luna. Have you done any looking into the Knight Codex at all when it comes to the segment about the Tricolus Knight? You have any idea what I'm even talking about? Because I have been doing a little research. So, obviously, kind of my whole shtick. My favorite knight of all time is an Acastus Knight, which is the Acastus Knight Porphyrion. I feel like that's relatively self-explanatory at this point, right? Fuck. Just dropped my super glue. And so, anytime the Acastus gets mentioned in official lore, I get really, really excited, right? So, one of the things that gets me super pumped is there is a segment in the Codex that talks about the Acastus Knight. Now, your cat is so good at the vet. I love her. I always get compliments. Honestly, brother, that's great. That's genuinely great. I'm happy for you on that front. Our puppy, the new one, Han, he's a rock star when it comes to the vet. Every single vet we take him to, I say every single vet, we take him to the same office, but every time I take him here, every single vet in the building has to come out and say hi. That he is a rock star down there. They love him so much. They're very excited for him. Probably because they spend a lot of money over there, but still, they love Han a lot. They're one of his favorite dogs up there. They always love seeing him. There's like one vet who's never actually like seen him in terms of, you know, medically speaking, and she always comes out and says, "The music suddenly got louder." Okay, let me try balancing on my end. Is it too loud? Is that better? Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on today. OBS is really acting up. Holy crap. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, let me... Okay, I've turned it back down. Let me know how that is, if that's too quiet or anything. What is going on today? Swear to God, OBS is just freaking out. Yeah, it's better? Okay, that's good. That's good. I don't know what's going on today. It's not the first time, unfortunately, something like that's happened. Okay. Anyway. Anyhow, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so in the Codex they actually name another knight the Tricolus Knight, which apparently is a big lumbering siege engine along the lines of like the Acastus Knight, and I thought that was rather fascinating. And GW, at least modern GW, they don't talk about or name things like that. They don't have plans of releasing at some point in the future, so I'm sure we'll see a Tricolus Knight at some point in the future when it comes to whatever they're planning over there at GW. I'd love to see that. And if they dropped an Acastus, I wonder in the Codex, I wonder if they're going to be making plastic versions of these, which will make this a hell of a lot easier to deal with. You showed your nephew Warhammer, and immediately he loved it. He likes the Dark Templars. Listen, Black Templars are the coolest. Okay. I can attest. Black Templars are pretty dope. I have to agree. So, good on you. We have to make new generations of Warhammer fans. Hopefully, whenever the Henry Cavill TV show gets made, hopefully it's not going to be too inappropriate, But hopefully we'll have a whole bunch of new people come into the hobby. I know my dad is stoked. He's a big fan of... you'll love this, Stolas, but you'll also hate it at the same time. He's a big fan of Horus. But he likes good guy Horus, not I've fallen to the powers of darkness and corruption Horus. So, you win some, you lose some. But he loves himself some Horus. Horus Lupercal is a really cool character to him. He loves them. And he loves the Luna Wolves too. So I'm so excited. Today's a very important day, right? So I have my cruise coming up in 20 days. 20 days I go on my cruise. And in 20 days I did this wrong. I knew something. I knew this was going too easy. Oh well, I'll have to fix it myself another time. In 20 days, I go on my cruise. I'm very excited. So I said today, by Thursday of next week, I want my Porphyrion done. Horus Before His Fall is a really interesting character. That's what my dad says. He loves himself some Horus. I plan on... I'd like to get to do it for his birthday. I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I'd love to get him Horus Lupercal, the model for the Horus Heresy. I'd love to get him the original one, and then I'd love to get Horus Ascendant. So you can have both. And one I'm going to paint up in the white armor, good guy Horus. The next one I'm going to paint up in the black armor, bad guy Horus, and let him have both of them on his desk. But he really does love good guy Horus. Good guy Horus is one of his favorite characters of all time. It's a very interesting character, too. Post-Chaos Horus is basically a different guy, but not in a bad way. Exactly. He's just a corrupted version of that character. It's more clear how badly he was corrupted. For sure. Horus went through the ringer in the original lore, and I've not read The End of the Death Part 3, so I'm not up to snuff on the modern stuff. But in the original lore, Horus begged the Emperor to kill him when the Emperor banished the influence of chaos on his mind. And because he knew he was going to fall back to chaos, and they would take over, and the corruption would just ruin him again, and he would rather have died than to stay I'm gonna have to see if I can remove that. Than to stay the corrupted son forever. It is just a really, he's a cool character. He's a very interesting character. I love, like Horus as a character. He's very interesting and in depth, and there's a lot of nuance to him too. He's not just like, and he comes from a board game, or I say board game, a tabletop game, but a board game where you have just dudes fighting each other, and that's ultimately what it boils down to. But they really went above and beyond for Horus as a character, and I think they did him great justice, personally. I'd love to see more. I hate that part of the duel, honestly. I think it's better if he never shows remorse for his fall to me. You know, that's an opinion. You know, I can't hold it against you for that. I think it's that, you know, I prefer it that way. Again, I'm a no good, dirty Imperial simp, so I get it. But for me, and I understand where you're coming from, so don't think I'm like correcting you. It's just for me, it really shows like he believed in his father's vision, even if he didn't agree initially with how his father was going about following that vision. You know, so to me, it really like showcased like, hey, I didn't want this to happen. I wanted what I thought was voice crack there. I wanted what I thought was the best for the Imperium, and I disagreed with the way you were doing it. And that the corruption by chaos is what pushed him to that point. Is that what made him truly a villain? So I always read it as it wasn't remorse for his actions. It was I didn't want the gods to push me to this. I wanted to save your vision, and I thought the way you were doing it was destroying the very thing you set out to achieve. So, you know, that's the way I like to see it. But I understand where you're coming from. I get it. I hate what they did to Fulgrim when they redid his lore. So, I think as the reader, we know that he's been corrupted. We just don't need the line of him begging to die. It should have been obvious the old Horus is not in control anymore. Yes, I agree. I think where I liked the fact that he was begging the Emperor to kill him, for me, comes from the whole, like, I didn't want to destroy your vision. I wanted to save it from you. You know? I think that, for me, is where it was really good, you know? And by making him tell the Emperor, I don't want to be corrupted by these beasts anymore, kind of, and that's how I've interpreted it. I mean, I get it. Is like, I don't want to be a puppet to something else. I wanted to do this because I believed in anyway, I'm belaboring the point, but I can't say I blame you, because I kind of feel the same way. I think ultimately they do a disservice to the lore as a whole by doing that, by allowing that to be there. So I can't say you're wrong. Move my hand out of the way. By the way, Stolas, it only took me 2 weeks in total. Thumb's finally healing up. I'm not cut from a fork anymore. That hurt like a mother effer, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. My thumb still aches a little bit. It's not completely healed, but it is mostly healed now. Yeah, yeah. I'm really excited to see what they do with the show. You're right, too. A casual reader does need the affirmation that the Chaos Gods are the bad guys in the story, since the Empire is morally gray. Yeah. I mean, I don't like seeing Horus be brought low and, like, seen as weak because of the scene of begging. I think we can agree both ways there. I was waiting for you to cut your thumb on the knife as you said that. Believe it or not, I kind of was expecting it to happen to me, too. It wouldn't be a stream with me if I didn't cut myself somehow in a week. Glad it's healing, man. Yeah, me too, dude. You know, working in a kitchen and having this very painful bruise cut from a fork, which still pisses me off, has been one of the worst things for me. Holding a knife right, you need to hold the knife with your thumb, and you hold it on that part, and it just aches every time. So, do not recommend cutting yourself with a fork. Shit hurts. Well, listen, Final's all right. Someone has been conspiring in the Discord, by the way, to crowdfund me getting Dark Heresy, which was ironic enough because I literally had a conversation with my wife that day about, like, hey, hon, when this game comes out, can I have $70 so I can get the next Warhammer video game? Everyone really enjoyed my stream with Space Pope. She just kind of looked at me and went, sure, I don't care. Hello, hon. You okay, buddy? No, you don't go under my desk. No, sir. No, get out from there. Boy, if you don't start listening to me, I'm going to tell everyone on stream that you're being a bad dog. Hey! You need to stop. Go lay down. Yes, hi. I'm very happy to see you too. I'm sorry I got on you. It's hard to stay mad at this dog. Okay, so how's that gonna fit? Like that? Okay, that'll work. So, what are we feeling here? What do we want to talk about? Finally, you have any good topics of conversation you want to talk about? Luna? I always love hearing about your chaos nights, so please feel free. Let's pick a topic. I know Stolas is at the vet, so I don't want to distract him too much while he's getting the stuff figured out. Is the music still loud to you, Final? Really? Wow. I might have to. Has anyone mentioned the music yet? Is it that it's too loud? Because OBS has been screwing up again today. It randomly got loud in the middle of the stream, and I don't know why. I'm waiting. Actually, I'm not. The stream didn't freeze. I'm just chilling. It's pretty loud for me. It's just me that don't worry about it. No, I'll turn it down a little bit. I don't know what's going on. Turn it down on OBS. OBS has been acting up a lot lately. How's that? Is that better? I hope it is. I dropped it down to like negative 20 decibels. So, hopefully it's a lot better. There we go. Alright. Lo and behold, I guess you need to build these following the exact instructions, and not just make assumptions on the instructions. Because the specific toe anchor points on each of the legs corresponds to a specific armor plating, which is unfortunate for me because the armor platings I have are not going to match up with the ones I've put on the legs. They are not interchangeable. Also, you need to get Mrs. Wizard a copy of Dark Heresy so you can do a Wiz family playthrough. Do not tempt me with a good time. If I thought for a second she would enjoy it, believe me, my dude, yes. I might even talk to her even if she doesn't enjoy it, because I'm talking, I want to get my dad involved. He really likes, he liked Baldur's Gate. He never finished it because time is a problem, because, he takes care of my mom full time. Jesus. Freudian slip there, everybody. But he's really interested in Dark Heresy, and I want to get him on to that. Because I think that would be a lot of fun, and we could do a co-op playthrough. And if I can get my wife involved, hell yeah, dude. I'll get a Wiz family playthrough. I'll get Space Mom, Papa Wizard, Mrs. Wizard, and myself, and we'll do a Wizard family Dark Heresy playthrough. And I will be the dogmatic, burn every heretic at the stake character in it too. which is actually something I've never done before. I usually play the generic good guy. So when I was playing my first ever playthrough of Rogue Trader, which I never did finish, I need to. I went with kind of like a mix between Dogmatic and Iconoclast because, again, I am an Imperial simp, so I have to fix the Imperium from the inside, but I want the Imperium around. And playing Space Pope, I'm going to have to go full Dogmatic, and I've never done that before. So, Space Mom and Papa Wizard sounds like a 70s psychedelic band. Listen, with the power of AI, someone out there will make a 70s psychedelic band for my parents, I'm sure. Speaking of, Space Mom said she might swing in for a little bit today. She needed to take a nap. She has not been sleeping very well, so she said she might hop in if I'm still going later, but odds are she'll probably sleep through it, unfortunately. Oh, man, this has got now that I've put a lot of the armor plating on it, not all of the armor plating, but a lot of the armor plating, this is a very different profile. And I knew it would, but seeing it in person, this just looks so cool. And despite all the surgery I had to do on this bad boy, I think once I prime at the milliput, you're not even going to be able to tell, which is awesome. I'm very excited. One more piece here. And then I think I'm going to focus on getting all like the hoses and stuff done too, because I need to get the hoses set up for the legs. And then I move on to finishing the torso. I wanted to play XCOM 2, but it's freaking full price. Brother, tell me about it. I have XCOM 2. I bought it for the PC. I had it on Xbox. I had all of it on Xbox. What pissed me off is for years, I wanted to get XCOM Enemy Within. Or Enemy Unknown originally. But then Enemy Within, which is basically a glorified DLC. Full price on the Xbox and full price on PC still too. It's because of 2K, man. 2K, they don't like consumers having rights. 2K can... well... What I want to say versus what I will say are very different things. What I want to say is 2K can eat the darkest part of a piece of human anatomy I should not mention on YouTube. What I will say is, fuck 2K. It's funny how I can say the F word and it's perfectly fine, but God forbid I say something about a piece of human anatomy that lies between the groin and the rear. Oh, dude, most major publishers are 2K, EA, Ubisoft, which I think Ubisoft is more incompetent than they are evil, but yeah. 2K really does take the cake. They're the new EA. You know what? I will take that. EA has kind of been quiet these last few years. Battlefield 6 is probably their biggest fumble, and I hope they live to regret that. I still can't believe they said they wanted a road to... What was it? A road to 1 million players or whatever? Or 2 million? I don't remember. It was a crazy number. And I did the math, and it would have been like twice as popular as Fortnite at its peak. I was going to say the same. Ubisoft is really... Yeah, Ubisoft is just stupid. The good news is their evil comes from incompetence, not from malice. So, take that for what you will, I guess. Oh, man. Can we talk about that? Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that. Final watched me the other day. I was in the Discord. So before anyone says anything, I was not streaming on YouTube. My dad got Windrose. Yeah, Battlefield 6 did crash hard. And the sad part is it's not because it's a bad game. It's just they just DICE just I don't know. I don't think it should have been a full price game, if I'm being honest. Just at the end of the day, it shouldn't have been a full price game. But Final was watching me on Discord. He asked me to stream on Discord, and I was playing Windrose, which had come out. And I am thoroughly enjoying Windrose, by the way. Final watched me die many a time to many bore in that game. But let's talk about this. Windrose, a pirate game made by a developer of 30 people from Uzbekistan, of all freaking places. Uzbekistan is one of the most wildly successful video games in recent memories. The Autistic Wizard After Dark stream. Dude, watched me die to a boar, 40 times? And that's not even that much of an exaggeration, if it's an exaggeration at all. That's like a legitimate guess. 40 times. I died to a freaking boar. Well, multiple boar. But yeah, it's got over 1 million downloads and whatnot. Yeah, I'm stuck on PS5, but I appreciate you checking that. Listen, you know what, man? And that's okay. At least you're on a system that has no games, which is better than a system that has bad games like the Xbox. Let's just be realistic here, okay? At least your reputation is cemented as a company that loves to have strong exclusives. And then you have Macro Hard over there screwing up everything that they ever touch. Ever. Alright, important question. How does Commissar Yarrick go number 1? Very carefully. Very carefully. Yeah, let me tell you. Ah, Jesus. Xbox has fallen. It's game over for Xbox. RIP, it was nice knowing you. It was good while it lasted, but I'm never going to miss that console. Refuse to give money. You still on PlayStation 4? That's okay. There's nothing to get on PlayStation 5 that's worth it right now anyway. Unfortunately. Alright, very important question. To everyone watching, do I put the dick banner on the night? I feel like I do. I feel like I have to, you know? My wife hates it and she thinks it's dumb. Do I put the dick banner on the night? That's the important question. I need to know the answer. The logistics of number 2 are rough for Yarrick too. You're not wrong. Yep, GOG has all the other XCOM games too. They definitely are not $60, $70 each. You know what? GOG might be a really good way of going about it. GOG is fantastic. I have to agree with you there. So that might be the way to go about doing it. But yeah, I tell you, brother, Enemy Within pissed me off when it came out originally. And it pissed me off because Enemy Within is a glorified DLC. Yeah. It's like a loincloth. You're darn right it is. But do I put it on? That's the question. Do I put it on the night? I feel like I do. I feel like I put it on. Poll. You know what? That's it. We're doing it. We're doing a poll. Let's do it. All right, here we go. Okay. And oh. I can't. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, fine. I won't do it. Get rid of that. Here we go. Boom. I was trying to be funny with one of the answers on the poll, but unfortunately, it didn't want to let me do it. I'm sorry, hold on. I have no idea how you could attach the chain to anything. That's funny. Wiping with your non-dominant hand feels wrong, Luna. Stoll is correct. Correct. Yes, it does. It does, in fact, feel wrong to do so. Oh my gosh. We are, like, profoundly in the yes category. Here's the question. Is Yarrick's Orc Power Claw, is that his main hand? Or is it his offhand? That is the question, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, so far we're looking at yes for the Dick banner. So Dick banner is going on the Porphyrion. My wife will be disappointed. May she forgive me for the transgression I'm about to commit. Isn't it better assuming attaching it, but to paint it separate? Yes, but no. So I'm going to be using airbrush. It's more likely to be his main hand, so Occam's razor. Maybe he's ambidextrous. Is there lore about that? Can we look that up? Final, you're the lore expert. Lore expert. Tell me, is that canon? Most people are right-handed, but not everybody. My dad and my two best friends are left-handed. I have an odd... my wife's left-handed. There's an odd amount of left-handed people in my life. Huh. So what I'm going to do... So normally, yes. Normally, you could do sub-assemblies, and sub-assemblies would be very helpful for things that are painting. I'm actually going to be airbrushing. So I'm not going to be worried about painting it separately, because I'll be airbrushing, putting a stencil on that I've purchased, airbrushing the stencil, taking it off, and calling it good. So I'm not too worried about doing this. Would it be better to do that now? Yeah, probably would be better to leave it off if I was painting with a brush or anything. But since I'm not overly worried about it, I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it anyhow. Because if I was really going to do sub-assembly, I wouldn't even be putting armor plating on. And I'm like I said, I'm just not overly concerned about the... AI says he's right-handed, but I hate AI searches. Yeah, I get that. Well, I mean, you're also watching a filthy, disgusting AI user who made... art using AI, and I say it made. I didn't make it. The AI did, because he can't afford an artist to make his artwork. But if I ever get to the point where I can afford an artist, believe you me, I'm hiring an artist to make everything from scratch. I'm gonna get the Be Right Back artwork done. I'm gonna get my thumbnails done. I'm gonna get my channel artwork done. Everything. So hopefully we get to that point. Also, the offhanded comment / joke from Final was not necessarily without basis. About at this point it'll be a 250 subscriber special video. So you made the comment about you thought I was on my cruise. My cruise is next month. It's in 20 days. I go on vacation. So May 11th is the day I go on vacation. And then I will be leaving for Seattle, and then from there we'll be boarding and going on the cruise, which will be a lot of fun. I'm very, very excited. After that, I've basically at this point, like the cruise has taken over most of my mind. Everything I want to do, everything I'm thinking about, every waking moment I'm spending really thinking about going on that cruise. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a great time to spend some time with my wife for her honeymoon. It'll be great. After that, I'm going to hit the ground running. I'm going to start. I've got a couple scripts in the work. So I'm going to finish my subscriber special / thank you / direction the channel's going in video. Then I have a couple other videos I want to do that I'm going into then. So I'm very much looking forward to that, but it's probably going to wait till I get back, unfortunately. I do have one day that I'm back where I will not be going, where I'm not going back to work immediately. So I'll have a day to just sit here at the house and recuperate, which is fantastic. I'm going to spend that entire day working on videos, which is going to be great. People feel very strongly about AI art, and I get where they're coming from, but attacking people online is not the way to stand up for artists. I agree. I agree with you. There is a good chance Yarrick trained to be able to use his left as well as his right. You're also true. Here's the thing. A lot of people feel about AI art because they think it's immoral, because AI were trained off of existing artists to make art. And so I agree with that sentiment. I really do. I agree. If you're AI that's trained off of people's existing art, off of existing artists, that's gross. It's disgusting. It's gross because you've stolen the art. It's not like someone's said, hey, I consent for my art to be used. That's not how they trained them. So I get that. I understand that. And I even agree with it. The problem I have is like the moral arguments for people who use it. I'm not out here claiming I'm an artist because I use AI. That's stupid because I didn't make anything. It's like people who make AI music and think they're a musician. Like, that's not how that works. You can't do that. But I'll say this. Of the argument of like, well, if you use AI, you're taking jobs away from artists. I can't afford an artist. So by using AI, I'm not taking a job away from an artist. I couldn't afford an artist anyway, right? So how am I stealing a job away from an artist if I can't hire an artist to make artwork? At least this way I can make something that works for me, and then when I get enough money, I can hire an artist, you know. These are the major things that are important to me in lore, like how do major characters use the bathroom. If you think Yarick using the bathroom is an important piece of the lore, one, I agree with you. But two, he's not the most important character we have to ask this question about, Stolas. The most important character we have to ask how do they use the bathroom is Gilliman. How does Girly Man use the bathroom? He's stuck in a suit of armor that he can't get out of, otherwise he dies. Except in the books, sometimes he gets out of his armor, but he's supposed to die if he gets out of his armor. So unless GW is going to come out and say, like, yeah, we're retconning that, because they've done that in the past. In the very recent past, they've done that. They've retconned a lot. How the fuck does he go to the bathroom? Lilith Hesperex? That's how he goes to the bathroom? Got a lot of dried on super glue up here. I figure Marines just have a space diaper that processes their stuff. Well, they get out of their armor. When they're not out doing stuff or out fighting in their ceramide armor, they actually like get out of their armor. Are you going to try to add any hidden details as a tribute to your wife and dad? I forget who else helped with the Porphy. It was my wife and my dad and technically my sister, but we've never been paid by my sister. And yes, I am actually. The only time you're ever going to hear me praise this channel is this time. But Tabletop Time did a Porphyrion where they painted artwork and murals onto the panels. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have to save up some money. I'm going to send some of these panels off, or send the night off, to get a couple of these panels painted with artwork depicting them in some way, shape, or form in the lore. My dad has his own homebrew chapter of Space Marines. I'm going to put a Space Marine emblem on one of these panels. His chapter's the Red Phoenixes, and I'm going to put a Red Phoenix there, his chapter symbol, somewhere on this panel. And then my wife, I want to have her depicted as Saint Celestine, basically. And it won't be a perfect one-to-one, and I'm not hiring like a professional artist like that, but I'd love to hire someone to paint my wife, or something that looks like my wife as Saint Celestine here, which I think would be awesome. No, I need to know how she does it. She has to show off, so the toilet is probably on the ceiling or something. I agree. Luna, Space Marine armor has systems that recycle the waste, so Primarchs most likely have the same. Man, I mean, you're right, but you ruined the fun for me. I like to think that Gilliman has to hold in his poop at all times. Coke Zero. Yeah, it makes sense to me, Luna. Wouldn't even be a bulky system. No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't. My wife just texted me. She's on her way home. She actually left work a little late today. So I just texted her to be safe and that I love her. So, just in case anyone's wondering, I might be a little smitten with my wife. It's okay. she sometimes is the best woman I know. Sometimes she's the scariest woman I know. And sometimes they're the same woman. So, we'll find out. Let's see. What do I want to work on? Let's work on the missile system. Now, this one's going to be interesting. I am going to have to get some really hot water for this one. How do we know what Necron Tier looked like? Well, they have released official artwork of Necron Tier a few times, but the main way we know how they look like is simple. The Necrons are skeletons of Necron Tier. So, I mean, obviously the robot bodies, not the exact skeletons, but we can actually extrapolate what they looked like based off of how the Necrons look like. So, taller, skinnier, gaunt frame, more elongated chin. That's mostly how we know what they look like. Alright, I have if you hear random like hissing or bubbling next to me, I apologize. I have an electric kettle I've put in the game room with me so I can have piping hot fresh water for when it's time to bend pieces into shape. There's not much bending that needs to be done on this one, but there is a little bit. Kind of like elf-like humanoids then. Exactly. Exactly. There's some artwork out there, and I think some people have even done some artist renditions based off descriptions from, like, The Infinite and the Divine. Great novel, by the way. Fantastic Necron novel. Which, I mean, I had to say that about a Xenos. Like, ugh. So do the old ones make humanity off the Necron tier, or is the humanoid form just that common? Honestly, I feel like it's got to be the humanoid form is just that common. But if you even think about it... Okay, alright, hear me out here. If you think about it, the Necron tier, like, in lore, kind of... They feel weird. Okay, and when I say that, I mean, and they do. It doesn't line up for me that the old ones made them because they discovered the old ones way later, like the Necrons did, and they asked the old ones to help change their physiology, and the old ones were like, "No, we're not going to do that," because they believe all life is sacred. You know. Also, as a Brit, I love a good kettle. Thank you, Luna. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and put a couple of pieces in here. And I had to make a major decision. And I've decided I'm going to go las cannons on the Porphyrion. Theoretically, I could magnetize. I already have to magnetize the missiles. I really don't want to have to magnetize too much when it comes to resin. No, the other ones definitely didn't make the Necron tier, but did make humanity. Yeah, see, that's what I thought, right? That's what I think, excuse me, not what I thought. That's what I think. Because it seems weird to me that they would have made the Necron tier, only to have the Necron tier be like, "Yo, dog, can you fix us?" And they'd be all like, "Nah, fam, we think you're perfect the way you are." Which is what led to the War in Heaven. What the ever-loving fuck? Where are you? I know you've got to be in here somewhere. I'm just going to start taking random pieces out at this point. Let's go ahead and put the missiles in there. I'm going to put you in there. I'm going to go ahead and put you in there. Aha! Nope, that's an auto cannon. God bless America. Hold on. That can't be right. Just gonna dump everything out. Goodbye, box. I don't understand. Huh. Okay. Am I missing a las cannon? I'm definitely missing a las cannon, it looks like. So, where did you go? Stolas, I hope your cat's okay too, man. That's rough. I've been in your position. That's rough. Hopefully everything's okay. I'm not... I hope I'm not being too presumptive, but I'll keep your cat in my prayers because that's rough, man. I've been in there just racking my brain, stressing out. So don't worry though, just gotta keep a positive attitude, brother. Okay. I've heard a theory that the old ones made the Tyranids, which is why they have the shadow and the warp. Well, it's possible if the old ones come from beyond our galaxy, but they kind of imply that the old ones are not from beyond our galaxy, that they've lived in our galaxy, and they evolved here. And if that's the case, then they definitely didn't come. Definitely didn't make the Tyranids at that point. But it would be interesting. Yeah. So the old ones, they lived in our galaxy. And they made all life in our galaxy. That's what's important, right? The Tyranids come from beyond our galaxy, so if they did make them, are we saying that the old ones came from beyond our galaxy? It's possible. We don't know a lot about the old ones. I don't know that that's the case. I feel like it's not the case, but I don't know. So I'm not going to like have a definitive statement one way or the other. Give me 1 second. I don't know what's going on here. Give me just like a couple minutes here. I'll be right back. Well, I am back. Sorry about that. Not really sure what happens. I can't find the last cannon, so I don't know what happened to it. I swear to God, it was here. I had an incident before I started stream where the box with all the parts I had got knocked out of my hand by the cat, and so I thought, well, maybe I didn't pick up all the pieces, but I can't find it where I dropped the box, so I have no idea what happened to the last cannon. That's sad. Let's see, what did I miss? It's wild that the orcs are so far removed from their origins that they think snotlings are the brain boys. Yeah, that's fair. It's good writing, though. Shows how little the orcs value intelligence and the people who display as intelligent, so saying the lowest among them used to be the smart works. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Well, some small pockets of old ones could have escaped the galaxy at the end of the war in heaven and made the Tyranids in order to wipe out the galaxy clean and to calm the warp back down. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know how likely that is, but it's possible. I won't say it's a dumb theory. That's not what I'm saying at all, Luna. So that bothers me. I wish I knew what happened to the freaking last cannon. And it really does bother me. Like, that's going to mess with me for a while. Son of a bitch. Okay. Well, in all my paranoid looking, I didn't notice that the puppy got a hold of some stuff. Is the cat chewing on it? That's funny. But no, the cat is not chewing on it. Shit, man, that really bothers me. I wish I knew where it was. I wanted to do a las cannons because of the higher overall damage and AP. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't, but it bothers me that I don't know what happened to it. Mind you, I've survived 2 separate apocalypses when it came to the Porphyrion, so the fact that this is the only casualty, seemingly, is the las cannon, then I'll take it, I guess, but that's just irksome. Very irksome indeed, so who knows. Well, I'm just going to work on bending this back into shape. Well, like I said, it could be worse. I'm just really disappointed. Damn. Well, no one's to say I couldn't just call them las cannons. So, I'm not going to be that mad about it, but still, it is irksome. Oh, to Wells. I do personally like the Tyranids having an unknown origin because it makes them so much more terrifying. Well, yeah. I doubt it, because I'm the massive autistic one, although final. He's mentioned possibly. There's a game called Stellaris, which has like an alien stand-in that's basically the Tyranids that come from outside the galaxy, right? And the idea is that they might be running from something, that they were fleeing from something, which implies there's something far worse out there than Tyranids, that's fascinating. Formerly Wilson Family Jewelry, just finished your first 2,000 point game. Awesome, dude. How'd it go? All right. Let's see here. But I agree with you, Stolas. There is a theory. It's not a prominent theory, but there is a theory that the Perpetuals are in some way, shape, or form related to the Great Old Ones. You won 98-65. Your Nids versus Ultramarines. That's how the first Tyrannic War should have ended, personally. Sorry, Final. I wasn't attacking you. There we go. That's awesome, though, Wilson. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Or formerly Wilson. The family jewelry formerly known as Wilson? Possibly? Well, Luna, we all know why you have a Tyranid army. Because women think Tyranids are cute for some godforsaken reason. Get the bowl of water from reflecting the light of the sun off the screen. Then we'd have Marnie as Calgar in Tyranid armor. I must have been like literally I was scrolling on Instagram when it happened, by the way. I saw somebody had posted, it was like, I scrolled past your weekly recap talking about the chaplain and jump pack armor, and I was like, oh, it looks really cool. 2 pages down, Calgar and chaplain jump pack armor, and I'm like, God bless it, there it is again. Why does Calgar get all the freaking armor, man? Okay, seems to be all right. When I see French fries on Tyranids army, you're goddamn right, Stolas. God bless French fries. Same, exactly. Even though there's nothing French about French fries. I'm literally looking at that on Reddit right now. Your Trigon sliced his Calgar up. That's awesome. I mean, I like Calgar as a character too, so like that hurts me emotionally, but like that's awesome. I killed a Trigon once in Space Marine 2. Actually, multiple times in Space Marine 2, but it's also killed me a fair amount of times on Space Marine 2. Yeah, Calgar is a pretty cool guy. I have to say, as a character, he's pretty cool. I reluctantly think the Ultramarines have some of the coolest characters. Malum Cato is still great. Calgar Drago, the Grey Knights. Marnius Calgar, the chapter master of the Ultramarines. Although Calgar Drago, that's pretty good. Did you know the original apple pie recipes are from the UK? You're telling me nothing is as American as apple pie because apple pie is not even American? God. Next thing you're gonna... That actually did not know that. I was gonna make a joke, but I did not know that. That is actually rather fascinating stuff, I have to admit. Yo, you don't have to apologize, Stolas. That's not... You're good. I'm not an Ultramarines guy. You deep striked your Trigon behind Calgar, killed his unit with the Exocrine. Ooh. Tyrannifex, Turvagon, and then the Trigon finished Calgar off. Showing what a noob I am? Dude, you're good. There's a lot of characters who have very similar names, and also you have like the pseudo-Romanness of all the names too. Like it gets confusing for veterans in the setting, right? It's okay. You don't have to apologize, my brother in Christ. You're all right. Huh. Stop smelling my shit. I know what that leads to. It leads to you getting into stuff you're not supposed to be getting into, and you fucking know it. Come on now. Alright. Oh, yeah. That's going to look good. That's going to look pretty good, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Plus, Imperial stories are boring, not like the cool Chaos stories. Shut up, alright? Your boy only declared victory after he lost 12 times in a row, okay? Alright, I don't want to hear it. Yeah, that'll work. Imperial stories are boring. Yeah, I'll give you some stories are boring. But you know one of the worst stories I've ever read in my entire life? Fulgrim, the book. It's awful. And it's all about chaos, so I don't want to hear it. I will admit, though, when Perturabo... I can't say it. My dad might watch the stream. I can't say it. I've been holding off. Okay, I love this report we have. It is a lot of fun, I have to admit. And you have called me an Imperial simp, and I have accepted the moniker ever since. So, you know what? At least shows we're good friends. I'll take it. Man. I can't say it yet. I can't say it yet. My dad hasn't read it yet. He's in the book, but he hasn't gotten there yet. But my favorite scene that involves a Chaos Primarch is with Perturabo shows Fulgrim his Warhound Titan. That's all I'm going to say. Tau stories are a slog for you. You're not alone, dude. Okay. You're not alone. I'm the same way. I can't stand them. Come on. Stay. Fucking hell. Stay up. Trying to keep this glued in here, and it's not wanting to work. It's not wanting to cooperate. I'm gonna have to hold it like this, I think. Ah, son of a bitch. It's sliding out now. I love that Perturabo scene. Yes, I have to be very careful how I say it. And so no spoilers in the chat if you've already read it. My dad does watch these, and he has not gotten to that point in the book yet. But that is the one scene that kind of redeemed Perturabo in my eyes. I can't stand Perturabo 6 days of the week. But that scene right there, let me tell you. I said, this motherfucker's alright. This motherfucker's alright. I can live with this. Just gotta wait for the glue to dry. Tau stories are like reading Star Trek. I love watching Star Trek. Good Star Trek. Like, for me, that's the Next Generation. I'm too young, unfortunately, to properly appreciate OG Star Trek. Maybe now that I'm older, I might be able to, but I have to admit, OG Star Trek for me is a little bit of a slog. And, like, more than a little cheesy. But TNG, I love me some TNG. In fact, when I'm not doing this and streaming, I love Perturabo. He can't get out of his own way. Yes, he is a likable see you next Tuesday. I don't think I'm allowed to say that on YouTube as an American, which is stupid if you ask me, because I grew up with a lot of friends in Ireland when I played on Xbox, so I'm used to hearing that word all the time. Next Generation is peak. Next Generation is so freaking good. And if anybody doesn't like the Next Generation, I am so sorry for you. But TNG is some top tier stuff. God bless TNG. I love me some Next Generation. Next Generation's great. I love Deep Space Nine. I think the ending of Deep Space Nine is better from a character perspective than the ending of the Next Generation. I knew they had the ending of the Next Generation in mind since they started it, but it felt weirdly rushed. Like, the ending should have been the entire second half of that season, in my opinion, which would have been great. Deep Space Nine has a better ending. I love Deep Space Nine. It's a great series. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's better than TNG, but it is really good. Controversial opinion. I hate Voyager. I can't do it. There are episodes of Voyager that I think are really good. I just don't like Voyager very much personally. But the controversial opinion here, okay? Controversial, hot take, warning, incoming. I actually really like Star Trek Enterprise, personally. I know a lot of people are like, Star Trek Enterprise was bad. I really like Star Trek Enterprise. I don't know if it's because it's my childhood. I'd sit in the living room and everything. Voyager is good for super silly plots. Tuvok and the Devolution episode come to mind. That's fair. There's like several really good episodes of Voyager, like several really good ones, and then there's really bad ones, like the Warp 10 episode was really bad, like really bad. But I really liked Enterprise. I grew up with that. My dad, one of my fondest memories of my childhood is when my dad would, I like Scott Bakula. Yes, and Captain Jonathan Archer is a pretty good captain. I get it though; it wasn't the best, but it wasn't terrible. It was good. It was serviceable. It was good. I think it really hit its stride in season 3. I liked the first 2 seasons. Everyone's like, "Oh, the first 2 seasons are rough." I liked season 1 and season 2. Season 1 more rough than season 2, but seasons 3 and 4 they really hit their stride. And right as they hit their stride, they got canceled. And the worst part is it got canceled because it was fighting with Battlestar Galactica, Stargate, Farscape, Dark Matter. Wow, voice crack. Dark Matter. Oh, my wife is calling me. I'll be right back, everybody. Let me just answer my phone call. Okay, I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Long phone call. My wife got home, had to show me a T-shirt, had to let the dogs out, and stuff with the kittens. So, my apologies. Let's see here. You really hope they throw the book of that David singer? That case is awful to read about. Is that the singer that had, like, a dead woman in his car? Like, in the trunk of his car? Because if that's the case, then yes, I agree with you. They should throw the book at him. For sure. Okay. Alright, well, so, unfortunately, and that kind of wrapped up the tail end of that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get these autocannons. Never apologize for being good to your wife. Yes, I do my best to be... Yeah, but it was... A Reed teenager? It was a teenager? Really? That, I did not know. But I agree with you. They should throw the book at him. Fuck that guy. For sure. Alright, I want to get these cannons loaded in here, and then I do have to. Calling her a woman would be inaccurate. That's fair. That's fair. That is fair. I will grant you that. Alright, let's get these in here. So, yeah, I'm going to definitely... I have to get these autocannons loaded in. And then I have to get ready to go. My wife and I are going to go have dinner with my paternal grandparents this evening. It's a good deed I'm doing, but it's also making up for something stupid I did. Because I did not... have dinner with my grandparents when it was my grandmother's birthday. And I didn't because I was working and I was a bad grandson and didn't text or anything. So making up for it, I'm taking them out to dinner to a place of their choice to hopefully be a good grandson again. So, but this is where we are at with the Porphyrion on the torso front, which is awesome. And then we have the legs here, which now have all of their armor plating and the dick banner. So we are finally getting there. Your grandparents are still around? W, man, spend as much time with them as you can. Dude, every Wednesday, I have lunch with my maternal grandfather because I do not know how much longer I have him around. My maternal grandmother also is in very late-stage dementia, so I try to go over there every week and have lunch with them. And while my dad's side of the family and I, we're not, you know... We haven't been the best towards one another, and I'm doing what I can to repair that relationship because I realized, especially after my 31st birthday, that I just was not, as much as I had complaints about my paternal grandparents, every piece of that falls on me as well. Every complaint I have about my paternal grandparents, you can make the same claims about me. And so I'm doing what I can to repair my relationship with them, because I've just been a neglectful grandson, and I'm going to go have dinner with them and spend some time with them tonight. I will not be building when I get back, but if anyone's interested, I might do a little Dark Tide tonight on stream and just spend some time in the Warhammer universe and hang out with whomever. I also, hopefully, if Final's up to it, we'll probably be chatting with him in the Discord as well, but I'll at least be hanging out in the Discord to hang out with everyone tonight. Tomorrow is my long stream. I'm going to spend most of the day finishing up the Porphyrion and getting it ready to go. And then maybe get to work on the Castigator. Who knows? You miss your grandparents terribly. They're all gone. Stolas, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. Yeah, I want to spend as much time with them while I can. I grew up with my maternal grandparents and my paternal grandparents. I have a really good relationship with my grandfather on my mom's side. I'm trying to be a better person and spend some time with them. I've spent a lot of time just in my own head, unfortunately. Just, and not even like mean way, but like I got busy with my stuff and I didn't go out of my way to spend time with them, and I'm hoping to now. So, fingers crossed on that and repair that. So, thank you, Luna, as well. It is very important to spend time with them while I can, and I hope that I can continue to do so with whatever time I have left, because I know I don't have forever.